Assuming post-nut clarity is real, we spend more than 90 of our lives in a state of pre-nut delusion. I jerk off 24/7, so I'm always thinking clearly. Sex releases dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, just a bunch of different neurotransmitters, and they all work together in the brain to help us think better. 90. Just how much are you nutting? 10 of the average life is a lot of time. We've been deceived. Everything in life is about sex, except the first few minutes after sex. That is the DuPont way. Speak for yourself, buddy. I'm in a state of pre-nut delusion. I'll try this out on the wife tonight and let you know how it worked. Therefore, eunuchs are clairvoyant. Most of the money people spend is just to impress a potential date. Not everyone has post-nut clarity. I'm using pre-nut delusion. Best post-nut clarity I had was when I was lukewarm and lost my virginity to a 39-year-old woman as a 22-year-old man. It does change the mind. 10 of your life is post-nut. You are normal until you are horny, you get you nut. You are not nut clarity is in relation to your horny state, going from dumb and horny to your relatively smarter normal. It's weird that ads are effective even though everybody hates them. Advertisers cast a wide net. They only need to really reach about 0.3 to 0.8 to make a profitable return on the advertising course. Targeted advertising is growing and has a higher capture rate for about the same cost. I have a weird thing where even if I am interested in the product, I will go to the website rather than clicking on the ad. I don't want them to think they had worked, for yes, I know it doesn't work. At least I have self-control and contemplate on do I need the product. People hate ads for things they don't care. Notice when it's an ad for something they want. I have a list in my head of ads that are particularly annoying to me. I will go out of my way to not buy these products. I hate them on it because they make me wait, so I have premium. But here on Reddit or Facebook, where I can just scroll down, I don't really care. Sometimes there are even ads for something I want, so I buy. I hate is ads for something I already bought. It is just general background noise for most people that keeps the brand or product on people's minds. They have to be careful not to actually make people mad. That will lead to actual boycotts or people intentionally supporting rivals. I actively avoid Burger King because of those shit-singing commercials. Losing someone you love to insanity while they're still alive feels like a scarier loss than their physical death. My dad has lost most of who he was to dementia. It sucks. Mental illness, drug-induced psychosis, postpartum depression, psychosis, dementia, Alzheimer's. Never have felt so powerless. My mom got lithium poisoning. There is nothing scarier than when your own mother is in the front yard naked screaming at God to take the ghosts back to heaven. She's better now. And we are so fucking lucky. You are right. I lost one of my closest friends to paranoid delusional psychosis too. It is like having someone die, but there is no funeral and no closure. She is alive, but no longer the person I once knew. It breaks my heart that she is out there alone, insane, and on the streets. Older brother was diagnosed and a fentanyl addict until he ended it all. One of the worst pains I have ever felt in my life. Happened 7 years ago, still hurts like a motherfucker. Not insanity, but I know my whole family felt relief when my granny finally passed away with Alzheimer's. Not because we didn't love her or wouldn't give anything for some more time with her, but it was the fact that she had already been gone for a long time. When her body finally caught up, it felt like mercy. What do you think actually happened to the Boeing whistleblower? Homie got himself Epsteined. He fell down an elevator shaft onto some bullets. A bad system will always defeat a good man. Window seat. He was a whistleblower who got disconnected from all social and support networks because of his work against an American institution. He wasn't directly killed by Boeing, but was left out because of his problematic existence. I got downvoted on another post for my theory. I thought Boeing aren't so stupid to kill a whistleblower. A staff member who was sacked due to this coming out could be seeking revenge. That's the only thing I can think of. Boeing murdered him. Probably made an unpaid intern do it. No idea. Didn't know him, don't know the detailed circumstances around the incident or the crime. Death Skeeny will say that if I was going to off myself, I might well leave cryptic messages behind hinting that my demise definitely wouldn't be by my own hand to mess with people and leave the world a slightly more confusing place. Everyone would suspect Boeing killed him if he wound up dead, but Boeing would think that everyone else would think that they would think it's obvious Boeing killed him, which is why Boeing wouldn't kill him, and that's what they want you to think. Death, suicide, as people close to him mentioned, he was mentally distraught. What brand is huge, but you don't know a single person who buys their products? Lamborghini. I'm not friends with rich people. Who's buying all these Supreme shirts? Like what happened that brought you to that moment? Reddit ads. Mattress firm lol. WinRAR. Mary Kay. I've maybe met one person who actually owns a Stanley Cup. Even then, I can't remember if it actually was a Stanley or a Yeti. Amway. Skims. Yeezys. Goop. BetterHelp and HelloFresh. Their marketing is inescapable, but I don't know a single person who wants to support these awful brands. How do they afford the marketing at this point? Rolls-Royce. Balenciaga, absolutely bonkers. Feels like a joke about how to extract money from mad rich people. Anything related to the Kardashians. Louis Vuitton. Till I live around some fancy-as people. Louis Vuitton. Yeti. Most of the people I know buy knockoff coolers that are just as good. Single-family homes. Kylie Cosmetics. Sap. Sonic Burgers. Kylie Cosmetics, Estee Lauder, Mary Kay. My family, the only people I know eat Cornettis are Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. The pump you get from the gym is a preview of what you will have in a month. It's about a month, but it is indicative of where you'll be. A wise man once said you'll never be as big as your pump. As someone who doesn't go to the gym, what does this mean? Am I just a Gumby man? I swear my pump is huge. I can't imagine getting there in 1 month. Op has been to gym less than 1 month. Bro, 1 month. I've worked out consistently for like 10 years now, and I don't think people can tell when I have a shirt on. Though it's not gonna. Op never been to gym. I had this same thought a while back. I thought of it more like 6 months. In that it's less time when you start out and more when you get more lifting years under your belt. What is this trying to say? What do you mean by pump? That inflated look you have after lifting? I'm confused. With forgot that part. No matter how many times I read this, I have no idea what it means. If you're just starting, maybe. That's not how it works. If only that was true. The boner you get at the gym won't go away on its own. This person isn't wrong. I got a penis pump at the gym. I can't believe somebody just left it there, and here I am a month later, still pumping my penis. Ha, that's a fun way to spell 5 years. What would happen if all men disappeared tomorrow? Guess I'd never know. I figure my daughters would miss me. A lot of step ladders would be sold because there would be no one left to get that thing from the top shelf. Society would collapse. Same as if all women disappeared tomorrow. First of all, Reddit dies in a week. My son would be gone and my heart would shatter into a billion fractured pieces. OnlyFans would go bust. I would miss I'd really miss my husband and my dad. Civilization as we know it would collapse, and it'd still be men's fault. The debate over what a woman is would finally be over. So many pickle jars all unopened. Need more clarification. By men, do you mean all males or just adults? Would every woman pregnant with a boy suddenly miscarry? I know that the ones who love us will miss us. Keanu Reeves. Some sexist idiots would cheer at first and slowly begin to realize how fucked they are. Neither of us can exist without the other. I wouldn't have to worry about going into work tomorrow. Toilet seats would stay down. Millions of toilet seats would remain in the down position. Lesbians would rule the world. Men who think they'll die alone, how have you come to terms with that? I'm on the verge of 30, and for me it's not that I had to accept it. But when I found peace, I realized that the only reason I'll get into a relationship is if I find someone who adds to my peace and vice versa. And being realistic, there was a 50 possibility that I'll end up alone, and that's fine by me. No, I get it. I probably won't find someone either. I imagine my future in a bar laughing with other old guys lying about stuff and joking about stuff that's borderline offensive. Just having fun. We all die alone. I've started reading a lot of romance novels. Does a good enough job at keeping that itch scratched. I'm pretty sure I will. At 57 my prospects are slim and I'm actually starting to be ok with it. Living alone is not a bad thing. But you are right, modern dating is a complete and utter stressful and not worth the roy. Seems like every man under 30 has given up on dating. Vodka. I haven't accepted it yet. I'm March 16th, 2024 widower for about 18 months. I've only been trying to date for 6 months and I'm cycling and working out. I'm outgoing and sociable, but no dates. It may never happen, but I'm not giving up just yet. Men who have slept around a lot then got married. How have you adjusted to being with just one person? It was surprisingly easy. It isn't easy every single day, but it mostly is, and it certainly was the moment I laid eyes on her. I simply didn't want any other women anymore. Not really, anyway. Been with her for 8 years and never genuinely regret that she'll be the only woman I sleep with for the rest of my life, because honestly she is magic. Sex was never that important to me, especially hooking up with random women. Everyone always forget to mention the headaches that come with women after you give them, that are be Aaron Hall life. For me it was getting my medication. I have a normal sex drive and don't think sex every time I see skin. Having sex with one person regularly is so much better than sleeping around. Slept around a lot but slowed down, single, never married. Just turned 30 but from 15-28 basically racked up 150 women. Now hooking up and having sex. 10-10 better to make love to someone you have a connection with and genuinely love. Comes with age and experience. I love them all until I love the one. Goku, one of the strongest and masculine men in fiction, was voiced by a woman. Fairly normal for shonen voice of Krillin. Mayumi Tanaka is still at it voicing Luffy in One Piece. Goku isn't even the most masculine man in Dragon Ball Z, let alone all of fiction. He is powerful but not super masculine. In the Japanese version, that's an important distinction to make. Goku is more of a man-child, not really masculine, but I get your point. He isn't really all that masculine, is he? I haven't watched any of the shows, but I never took him to be the most masculine character on fiction. He was, and he was voiced as a woman precisely because he wasn't one of the most masculine men. He and all his children were voiced by the same female actor to show his feminine softness. He was a child. They liked her and her voice, so they carried her through to adulthood, where in the dub they changed Vez after he hit puberty. Strong, yes. Masculine, no. A lot of male characters are voiced by women. It's not rare at all. Currently imagining an incel talking with Goku, trying desperately to show him alpha-beta pseudoscience from YouTube philosophers, while Goku gets increasingly frustrated and bored, wondering when he gets to fight. What's the biggest lie you've ever been told? Things will get better. I'll be ready in 5 minutes. I love you. Walk into a business after putting in your application to tell them that you are interested in the job and really be persistent about how much you want the job. Get escorted out by security. Adult life is awesome. It ain't I'd happily go back to being a kid given the opportunity. I'm Oak, the identity of my biological father. That my whole family will go to jail if I turned on the light inside the car. Al Gore invented the internet. For 9 months whilst Chen had an affair with my best mate. I did it for your own good. It was only some texts and photos. I love you. Quite a few times in the past. Mexico will pay for the wall. It will be okay with time. I don't know. I would never hurt you. Love. He's just a friend, don't worry about it. That text you read where he asked me for another naked picture was just a joke. You were being too paranoid. Name one singer whose voice you could recognize no matter what song they sang. Louis Armstrong, Freddie Mercury, Tom Waits, Kermit the Frog, Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. Wow, Johnny Cash, people. Dolly Parton. I remember hearing Breathe by Faith Hill for the first time and thinking, found out a couple of years ago that it was Dolly. Ozzy Osbourne, Eddie Vedder, Dolores O'Riordan, Willie, of the Nelson variety, Bob Dylan, Janice Tim, Weird Al, Cher, Tom Petty, Billy Joe Armstrong, Axl Rose, Shakira, Billy Corgan, Karen Carpenter, Stevie Nicks. I can't believe no one has said Jack Black. Celine Dion, Geddy Lee. How has no one said Chris Cornell? Frank Sinatra, Steve Perry, Eddie Vedder, David Byrne, Joe Cocker, Sting, Tracy Chapman, Maynard James Keenan, K.D. Lang, a rare artist who's as good live as she is on record. Dolly, Tina Turner, Dean Martin, Elvis, Peter Gabriel, Jello Biafra, Sir Tankian, Chester Bennington, Rod Stewart, Tony Bennett, Elvis Presley.